Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we have another incredible product. Not just an incredible product, but something that I'm almost floored by. Like, this is unbelievable. We have the brand new Castermind Creations Dilophosaurus figures, and wow. Like, the second I took these out of the package, I was just blown away by how impressive these are. Like, undoubtedly the single best Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus figures that not only do I have in my collection, but that I've ever seen. They're so spot on, so perfect. It is crazy to me just how good these are. Like, I was impressed with his Velociraptor, but I am completely blown away by these Dilophosaurus. It's easily one of the single most impressive things that I've ever seen in my life when it comes to a dinosaur style action figure, and puts most things that have come before it to shame. You can see we have two Dilophosaurus this time around. We had one raptor last time. This time, if you order these, you get two Dilophosaurus, and boy oh boy are they ever gorgeous. One of the most screen-accurate Dilophosaurus that I've ever seen as well. And on top of that, capturing that classic Kenner feel, we have capture gear, and we have removable frills, which makes them even cooler, because again, also, you know, very Kenner-like, but it gives you the opportunity to kind of display your Dilophosaurus however you would like. But honestly, me just talking to you about how incredible these are, I don't think it's really going to do it justice. We're going to jump straight to a closer look so I can show you how incredible these are right now. Prepare your eyes and your mind, because here we are. We have the Castermind Creations Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus, and look at that. Wow. Like, that's pretty much all you can really say when you get a look at this, is just wow. That is so unreasonably gorgeous. The head sculpt, again, looks exactly like the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. Not even similar, it looks exactly like the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. You can see the nostrils are sculpted out there. Very vibrant scale detail here on the face. Pretty much anything and everything you would want to see sculpt-wise is here on the head sculpt of this Dilophosaurus. And you can see that we've also got the crest up there. Very nice fine detail within the crest. The green tones that we have here on the face as well, I would say, are pretty much like a perfect mixture of the Kenner Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus and the version that you of course see in the film, so that is also a massive plus. The eye is also painted very nicely. You can see it's a very small eye, especially since the head of the Dilophosaurus fits there within my pointer finger, but you can see just the tip of my pointer finger, I should say, but you can see the eye is placed very nicely, painted very nicely. We do have an articulated jaw. You can see the inside of the mouth sports a nice pinkish tone. The teeth are sculpted really nicely. You can see each and every tooth looks to be, for the most part, sculpted potentially individually. Yeah, maybe some of them might be sculpted a little bit together, but they just have such a high quality look and feel that they look like they are definitely sculpted individually. But again, it's a pretty small mouth, but you can see in there, or maybe you could if my camera would focus on it, we've got the tongue. Boy, it really doesn't want to focus, but there we go. We've got the tongue sculpted out there on the inside of the mouth. Again, the teeth on the lower jaw are also really nicely sculpted, really nicely painted, very careful, very consistent paintwork, and again, it all looks very well done. No sloppiness at all on the inside of the mouth of that Dilophosaurus. We also, of course, have that very dark greenish tone here running along the face, and you can see that we have that white outline, again, exactly as the Dilophosaurus looks in Jurassic Park. You can also see some very nice looking sculpting detail, or again, you could if my camera would focus on it here on the top of the head. And you may notice a few issues with this, and you know, if I can recall what they even are, because I really don't see much of anything, I will point them out to you. But Castermind Creations was kind enough to actually mention these issues prior to even them arriving, just so I knew that there were some issues with them. And he did want me to inform everybody that he is going to have pretty much every issue resolved, or he's definitely going to be working to, of course, resolve every issue prior to the release of the figure if you do purchase one. But you can see that we have a little glue residue up here on the back of the head of this one, and that's something that obviously he'll take care of when it comes to the actual release. You won't see that on the official release of this figure. But as you lead down the course of the neck, you can see again that stripe here running down the side of the neck, you again have that white outline following it. We have the really nice greenish tones here on the back of the neck. You can see nice creasing as you lead down through the course of the neck, as well as a really nice reddish throat, which is again exactly as you see on the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park. And you can see that we basically can take notice to how the frill is sort of like held into the neck region. You see like that bulkiness to the throat and everything there on the Dilophosaurus, and he's very nicely captured that here as well. And you can see the smooth transition when it comes to the green leading down into the red. His paintwork is really impressive, like probably just as impressive as the sculpt work. As we lead down a little bit further, you continue to have the really nice paintwork here as we have that darker variation of a green leading along the back and now overtaking pretty much the entire back here of the dinosaur. You can see the spinal column. We can also see as we turn it here, you can see the rib cage shining right there. And again, a really smooth transition down here to the underside with a very nice light tone for the underbelly of the Dilophosaurus. We've got some nice muscle definition here in the arm leading down into the hands. You can also see the hands kind of lighten a little bit when it comes to the coloration, and again, we're losing focus. There we go. You can see some nice scoots running down the fingers. Very nicely painted nails with a black. They look great as well. And then as we lead back up, you again can notice, like I said, the rib cage and everything. You just see that very thin appearance that you see on the Dilophosaurus in Jurassic Park. As you move back, you've got the hip bone shining through a little bit there. Nice muscle definition in the thigh leading down. We again have some of that green running down here before disappearing. As we lead down to the knee, you can see the knee right there. You've got the nice bulging calf muscle. A little bit of a lighter tone as you lead down into the foot. Very nice looking foot sculpt, and look at how good the nails look. They have like a genuine sharp look pretty much to them, as well as I would expect on a Dilophosaurus if I had ever encountered a JP Dilophosaurus in real life. You can also see the dew claw over there is sculpted and painted. Again, the nails painted with that black tone. And then you've got a few creases and everything as you lead out here behind the thigh up into the tail. Again, really nice, very smooth transitions from the lighter underbelly coloration or lighter tone here of the underside. It's not really the underbelly anymore, but the underside of the tail up to the nice green, and then we continue to have that darker green leading out here, and then we lead out to the tip of the tail. The tip of the tail here, actually I would say not even just the tip, but a little ways out toward the tip, you can see we transition back to just that greenish tone as the darker tone disappears. You have that very nice, almost classic pose there for the tail, making this Dilophosaurus look like it just, pretty much came to life straight out of some concept art. And again, showing you how impressive it is. And of course, the same thing is going to be seen over here, considering this is a figure in kind of a neutral pose and you would articulate it. You don't see a whole lot of difference on one side compared to the other side. I did notice, and I don't know that the Velociraptor had this, I'll have to look at it, but we do actually have a swivel for the tail. You can swivel the tail on this one, and that's something that I don't remember if the Raptor had, but I'll have to look back. Maybe that's a new addition to the figures. But that Dilophosaurus is absolutely as gorgeous as it gets. I have never seen a better Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus in my life. And then of course you get not only one, you get two. So here is the second one, and you can see it looks just as beautiful as the first version did, but I did want to bring it up and show it to you guys again anyway, and show you how nice looking the Dilophosaurus is and how good each and every version of it is, again, because you can see it looks like a direct clone of the first one. The paintwork is just as precise. The sculpt work, of course, is going to be the same. He did state that there was a little hole here that he created basically so that air could get through as he was printing the figure out, and he meant to fill that one up. So that's another, if you do happen to notice that, if that's another thing here, if you noticed it on here, that yours won't have, because he will fill them with putty, and it'll be completely impossible to see that when he does actually ship his figure out. But just in case you noticed that, I did want to let you guys know that that is another thing that will not be on the actual release of this figure. But I also wanted to bring this one up because this one was still connected to the plastic stand, and I wanted to show you guys that you do get a really nice circular, very high quality see-through stand for your Dilophosaurus to stand on. The figures don't seem to stand too well on their own without the base. I have tried the moment I got them out of the box. I did try to get them to stand. So far I haven't been able to do it, but that's not to say that you can't do it. But they stand beautifully on the base, and you can see that base stays on there very nicely. And then we also have the frill, and look at how nice the actual paintwork is on the frill. That's one thing most Dilophosaurus figures, whenever you get one, the one area that never looks that great is the frill. That is not the case at all with this Castermind Creations version. That frill is so awesome looking. The paintwork is so smooth and so natural overall, not to mention the actual sculpting and detailing of the frill is incredible. You can see all kinds of wrinkles and creases moving through the course of the frill, the variations of lighter, like yellowish, greenish tones, reddish tones. You've also got that dark tone that kind of outlines the frill, and man, is that ever a gorgeous looking Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus frill. Also extremely high quality, and then you can see the back, of course, sports the greenish tone that we see for the primary body color of the Dilophosaurus. And you also, again, get a second frill because you, of course, would want one for each of your Dilophosaurus, so it's up to you if you want to have them both on or one on and one off. Your choice, but you do get a frill for each Dilophosaurus. And then you also have capture gear, and you can see the capture gear has a nice metallic silver look to them. You can see basically what the headgear looks like for the Dilophosaurus, and just like with everything else, again, you get one of each, so you have one for each Dilophosaurus. Each dinosaur gets its own individual capture gear, and then again some more that we have here to add on, which I'm really excited to actually add on to the Dilophosaurus. And you can see just how high quality these look as well. There is just no laziness when it comes to a Castermind Creations product. They're just super, super high quality all around. And then we've also got the shackles, and you can see even those as well, again, are incredible. Sculpt-wise, the detailing of these is just unreal. If you get nice and close, they are some of the most highest quality sculpt that I've ever seen on capture gear. Far and away, in my opinion, defeating what we've seen from both Kenner as well as Mattel. Again, they just look super, super impressive when it comes to the actual detailing, as well as the very nice, again, silver metallic tones, making it look like legitimate capture gear. Extremely high quality. Look at even the underside. That is unreal when it comes to the detailing aspect. Like I said before, zero laziness when it comes to a Castermind Creations product. These are dream-worthy releases and the type of stuff that Jurassic Park fans everywhere have pretty much been aching for their entire lives. Again, the definitive, in my opinion, Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus with some of the most impressive-looking capture gear I've ever seen. I also wanted to show you guys the articulation. You do have the ability to articulate the arms. You can move those forward and back. And on top of that, the legs as well. Again, you can move forward and back just to articulate them. You, again, like I said earlier, have the swivel tail, and the jaw articulates very nicely, which you can see. Again, just like with the Velociraptor, you'll have to warm the joints up. That's what I had to do, was warm the joints up with a hairdryer, and now they're moving very nicely, so that works quite well. And we now also have our Dilophosaurus with the frills on, and the frills just, you just slide them on, basically similar to the old Kenner version, and they look so cool with those frills on. Man, do they ever look as awesome as it gets. Of course, we would want to open the mouth so that we've got that ferocious look to our Dilophosaurus once the frills are on there and they are extended. They look amazing, honestly, just amazing. And now we've got both of the Dilophosaurus with their capture gear on, and they look so cool with it on. They really, really do. Just giving me all the nostalgia I can handle when it comes to something like this. Like, these look so cool with the capture gear on, the frills, without the frills. It doesn't make a difference. They all look awesome. But Castermind did let me know as well that the capture gear, he was trying to readjust. Basically, the shackles he was readjusting because he said that the shackles weren't fitting all that well or something on the arms. But mine work really nicely. I actually have had no issues getting it on there. No issues at all. Similar to the Velociraptor, worked just as nice. To me anyway, when it comes to applying the capture gear, went on nicely, stays on there nicely. So no issues as far as I go when it comes to the capture gear. As far as a size goes, we'll go ahead and move this one over. We might as well just measure it with the capture gear on in the position that it's standing in, which is a nice natural pose, I think. You were looking at about 7 inches or around 18 centimeters, maybe a little hair under 18 centimeters, or actually almost maybe on the dot about 18 centimeters. And then height-wise, just a little over 2.5 inches, maybe about 2 inches and 5/8, I would say, or about 6.5 centimeters, closing in on 7, but not quite there. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Dilophosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line, as well as the Collect Day human figure next to our Dilophosaurus. And you can definitely see that the Dilophosaurus is a bit on the smaller side. I kind of expect that, considering it is a Dilophosaurus, and in Jurassic Park they're not all that large, so the smaller size 100% makes sense. And then when it comes to a size comparison with an average sort of Mattel Dilophosaurus, this is the one version that's a little bit bigger, I think, than the previously released version of the Dilophosaurus from Mattel. But next to this one, this should help to give you an idea of the fact that it's a little bit smaller than the Mattel version. But then when you bring in the more standard sized Dilophosaurus, the original size range of the Dilophosaurus from Mattel, you can now see that these are actually very similar in size. Yet we can see much better proportions, of course, on the Castermind Creations version. We've got a nice longer tail, more proportionate feet and everything, but very similar in size though if you do have this version of the Mattel Dilophosaurus. And then, even though this one's a little beat up and is very dirty because this is just an extra that I had sitting in a box over here to repaint at some point, we have the Kenner version of the Dilophosaurus that I think shares a strong resemblance to the Castermind Creations version. And you can see, obviously, the Kenner version, the spitter, is a bit larger than our Castermind Creations version, but in my opinion, yet again, the Castermind Creations Dilophosaurus is easily the winner from this comparison. And then one final comparison, and one of the coolest visuals ever, we have the Castermind Creations Velociraptor and Castermind Creations Dilophosaurus next to each other. You can see how they're all shackled up, all captured in their capture gear, and all looking incredible. Two absolutely amazing releases. The Velociraptor is currently sold out, so hopefully you had a chance to grab that while it was available. Definitely grab the Dilophosaurus right away if you are interested before that sells out as well, so you don't miss out on any of these incredible Castermind releases. So these brand new Castermind Creations Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus figures are two of the absolute most incredible figures I've ever had the pleasure of adding to my collection. Insane is what I would say about these two. They're just so ridiculously beautiful in hand. The sculpts are fantastic. They are as high quality of a Dilophosaurus when it comes to a JP style version as you're ever going to see. The fine detail looks amazing on this. They have really nice scale detail, nice skin wrinkles, and everything. Everything you would like to see is present on this, providing you with one of the most highly detailed Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus figures you'll ever see. On top of that, we also have probably the most screen-accurate version I've ever seen, and at the same time that it looks exactly like the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park, it also looks like concept art come to life. It's that beautiful, and Castermind Creations just knocked it out of the park when it comes to the sculpt and the overall appearance, just capturing the likeness of the Dilophosaurus to perfection. You also have really nice paint apps. The tones of green on this look so good, and definitely very nice and faithful to the coloration of the Jurassic Park Dilophosaurus. You've got the red throat, you have the nice patterning moving through with the darker green and everything. And all of the paint application looks very nice and natural, very realistic, and is also, I would say, as high quality as the actual Dilophosaurus itself. Combining that with the fact that you have the frill, which is removable, makes these figures even cooler. The frills look great. They're very nicely sculpted, beautifully painted, probably the nicest painted frills I may have ever seen, because it's one area that's always messed up on so many Jurassic Park style Dilophosaurus figures. I don't know, companies just get lazy, I think, in that area, but it looks so nice on these Castermind Creations versions. And you've got articulation, which is really cool, and you also have capture gear, which is really cool. So with all of that combined, I can tell you that this is an absolute masterpiece, if you ask me, and a definitive must-have for any Jurassic Park collector. So if you are interested, as always, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this right now. Again, as I said, you want to grab this right away before it sells out so you don't have to miss out on it. So make sure you check that link, go grab this amazing Dilophosaurus pair, and also like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.